Now we're going to show another feature that iTeam does out of the box with no coding, which is the capability of managing separation or segregation of duty. Well, when we go into manage policy, there is a specific section for manage provisioning, separation of duty policies. When we click on it, we actually created one simple one for you here, and we're going to show it to you what we put in here. We just click on it and we gave it a name, a description, the business unit that is applicable, and we created a rule, and the rule says, we gave it the name only one role at a time, and it says, well, out of these three roles, BO accounting role, BO banking role, and BO IT group, only one of those is allowed. You can say two, or, but in this case we say, well, if you have one of these BOO, you cannot have any other. Pretty good. So the other thing that we specify is who owns this policy. And instead of putting a person directly here, we actually specify that another role, which is the SoD watchdog role, is going to be the owner of this. So therefore, whoever has this role is the one that needs to approve separation or segregation of duty violation, and we'll see that we'll make them an exception. And the difference between the two is that we were told by our customer when we were doing this years ago that they don't want a tool that is so inflexible that I can never have a separation of duties violations, because those things happen. What I need is a tool that allows me to manage those and to prove to my auditors that I'm in control, and when those things happen, that I know that they are happening, that I run the right audits to make sure that nothing has been compromised. And that's the type of tool that we want, and that's precisely what iTeam has. So that's a simple of the steps that you need to do to create a separation of duty policy. Now let's look into manage roles and look who is the member of the SoD watchdog role. So we can do here SoD and search for that, and we see that's the role that we are looking for. Who is a member, or the members? It might be more than one. In this case, only Butch Cassidy is the member of that particular group role. So he's going to have to approve any separation of duty violation before that entitlements are actually given. Pretty good. So let's go into, from the console itself, let's go into manage user, and we're going to look for Mr. Goldman. And here is Bill Goldman. Let's see what the roles he has. And Bill has this BO banking role. Okay, so if we were to give Bill another role, then well, we're going to be incurring in a separation of duty. So let's do that. From here, from the console, the all-powerful console, we're actually going to give him member to the, let's say, BO IT group. Click OK. So we're going to submit now. And notice that the tool is telling me, hey, what are you doing? This is going to cause a separation of duty. I say, well, I don't care. I need to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and actually submit that. So that means that Mr. Goldman got that access. Notice that this stuff is pending, and as you can do with any request in iTeam, you can actually click on it and see the details of it, and you can drag into the details, and we can see that that is still pending. We can keep on drilling down, and we see that it's been routed to Butch Cassidy, for him to approve that. And therefore, if we look into Mr. Goldman, he's not going to get that extra role, because it needs to be approved by Butch Cassidy first. In fact, we can actually even do it from the, just to show the perspective of the good, easy to see console. that if we see the accesses that he has, he doesn't have that BOIT, not yet. Pretty good. So how does Butch Cassidy, by the way, knows that this is happening? And again, by just doing the definition I showed you before, the default workflows and the default emails kick in. And if we look into Bill Goldman's email account, he should have gotten, not Bill Goldman, Butch Cassidy, who is the, where is Butch Cassidy? Barbara Bcash, Butch Cassidy, here it is. So if we look at the message, he should have gotten a recent email, and sure enough, 2 minutes ago he got an email saying this is a separation of duty exception that you need to approve. You know, okay, so he can actually log in his nice looking dashboard as B Cassidy and approve or deny the separation of duty. If he's going to approve it, you know, he can put comments in here. We need to run the proper audits, you know, whatever. Yeah. And this is going to go into the reports, and there are reports specifically for that. So now that that has been approved, if we log in back as Mr. Goldman, he now got that view access, that extra role. Yeah, the 2BO, he's in a separation of duty. How does Mr. Cassidy manage this? Well, as we did with in the case of Eric Powers, that he has a subset of the cockpit. We also have a subset for SoD managers and auditors. So if we log in here as B Cassidy, I spelled that wrong. And he has a subset of the, if you see, of the concept minus policy. Oh, what exactly can do? Only separation of duty policies. Okay. And he can have more than one. In this case, he only have one, which is the fiduciary role separation that we showed you before. And here he has one exception and 0 violations. So let's see what exception that is. So he can go periodically here and see, you know. Oh, look at that. I have one and expanded here. Oh, yep, this is, you know, Bill Goldman, who was approved by me to get these 2 roles. And let's say that, you know, the time has passed for the people to hire the other guy to eliminate these, and this hasn't happened. What Butch Cassidy, sorry, can do is actually go ahead and revoke this. And he's washing his hand and saying, you know what, I'm not gonna, you know, he can put a note here that will go into the report, and now that access has been revoked, which means that if I were to look at my separation of duty policies again, I will see that that action is now a violation, not an exception, meaning it's not going to remove the access because that may impact the business, but I'm, you know, washing my hands from this one and say, you know, this is a violation. You get the emails notification that, you know, you have an account that is but the beauty of the tool, you see the maturity of it, you can do all these things without, again, writing a single line of code.